our modern lives reflect primitive behaviour.
All over the world, the symbolic hunters are out stalking their prey. And because they are symbolic, the prey can take some rather odd forms.
Unique, interesting and informative. The Human Animal, 9:30 Thursday.
Tonight on Compass, the Chinese science of design that is meant to keep body, mind and spirit in harmony.
Good Feng Shui is important because it means that you can live in a good environment.
And a holistic approach to education.
We're interested in the formation of a student, which is more than just the intellectual development of the student or training them in skills.
Hello, I'm Christina Kachoukas. Welcome to Compass. When it comes to charity, Australians are generous and inventive. From the chook raffle or jumble sale to the national door knock or celebrity auction, we've found many ways to support charities. These days, charity is big business, generating billions of dollars each year. Australia's economy could not function without charities, but how they manage to play such a vital role remains something of a mystery. A federal inquiry is about to deliver its report on this largely unexplored sector of our economy.
It's Australia's favourite breakfast, Australia's #1. Australians spend millions of dollars a year to buy a healthy start to their day. The breakfast cereal market is fiercely competitive, and one manufacturer operates with a significant tax advantage. Most of us have bought a packet of this breakfast cereal, Weet-Bix. What we probably don't remember is that it's made by a company called Sanitarium, which is part of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The church runs a big charity operation, offering emergency relief, community support services and health and aged care. And a large slice of the church's charity budget is earned by Weet-Bix. So Weet-Bix is exempt from company tax. Other breakfast cereal producers say this gives Weet-Bix an unfair advantage. But Weet-Bix says all its profits help to maintain the church's charity and welfare operations. It's perceived anomalies like this that led the federal government to order an inquiry into charities. It's being conducted by the Industry Commission. Charities handle $4 billion a year, but it's a sector of our economy about which we know surprisingly little. The inquiry is looking into the size, scope and efficiency of charities and their relationship with governments. It's also examining tax exemptions and tax deductibility of donations. And the inquiry has looked at government regulation and accountability of charities.
The Industry Commission has an opportunity to help the sector to understand its relationship with government and to do it well. The Industry Commission also has the opportunity to help the sector itself to understand what it can do better to provide human service to those people who are really in need.
But the charities weren't convinced they needed the Industry Commission's kind of help. So Sister Margaret McGovern, a respected charity worker and administrator, was recruited to sit on the inquiry. The Commission hoped Sister Margaret's presence would calm an anxious charity sector.
I'm very conscious that I have a world of experience and a world of knowledge that they don't have, and that we trade off two different knowledge bases. So while they formulate their theories about how it all ought to operate in a perfect world, my role is often to say, listen, fellas, in the real world, this is how it is. And they look to me for that knowledge and experience and that kind of grounding the theory.
The inquiry received hundreds of submissions from charity and community welfare groups all over Australia. Those organisations raised many issues, but one major area of concern was taxation.
The tax deductibility of donations is a very important factor for almost all charitable groups in Australia. they would be very worried about any change to that. Now, there might be some scheme as yet undefined that could improve it, and who could be against an improvement. But the problem is this is a very sensitive area. A lot of charities are relying upon donations in order to keep their work going. They would be fearful that any change might disrupt the flow of money from their donors.
St Vincent de Paul helps about 1.2 million people each year. But even with tax breaks and an annual budget of about $200 million, they're struggling to meet demands for their services.
If we lost the tax concessions, it would have a devastating effect on us because we would have to pay payroll tax, sales tax, fringe benefit tax, all of the taxes associated with the bank transactions, and every one of those would have an effect of diminishing the services that we provide to the Australian community.
Some organisations which work in our area don't get the benefits of tax-exempt status. Tax exemptions are only given to groups who give specific direct aid, groups who act in advocacy roles, groups who are fighting for the rights of people, such as public interest advocacy centres, or even the Australian Council of Social Service don't enjoy tax-exempt status.
Put some money in those hats and those tins. Give them home in a whole world.
The inquiry also looked at the role played in the charity sector by volunteers. At least 1 million people volunteer some of their time each year in community service or in fundraising ventures like op shops.
Operations like these are small scale. They run on the smell of an oily rag and rely heavily on volunteers.
That you need to sort of come and do something for kids that haven't quite been as fortunate as your own.
No, you just enjoy being here.
And I think it's just part of my work as a Christian, really.
Like they say, there's 95 million, I think it is, volunteer hours of work in a year put in by volunteers in Australia. You know, it's mind-blowing. And if we ever put dollar signs on that, who could afford it? But as a country, that's a national asset we really need to be taking into account much more seriously, I think. You see it when there are emergencies like the Sydney bushfires, but it's going on day in and day out, and it's a great asset in this country.
I would like to see a greater encouragement to the true worth of people to come and volunteer to community service organisations. I think the value of the voluntary work that people give is greatly undervalued in our present way of life.
What's very important about an inquiry like this is that we actually enhance the capability of volunteers to do their job well. It's important that we understand that when we're conducting an inquiry like this, we don't undermine their own preparedness to actually give of their time and of their money. So we've been conscious of that.
The inquiry will deliver its report in a few weeks. The charities are concerned about what changes it might recommend and have promised to fight any measures they consider are inappropriate.
If, for example, they were to change the whole way in which the tax-exempt status was drawn up so that we didn't have the same benefits we have now, that would be dangerous. If, for example, they were to suggest that we could amalgamate a whole lot of groups and lose the diversity our sector has, that would be dangerous. So there's a lot of dangers there. I hope that we won't have to worry about them. I'm trying to keep an open mind at the moment.
The very first thing I'd like to see is some acknowledgement in that report, some acknowledgement by government and by the citizens of Australia about this, what I call, national treasure of the charitable sector. The money, the labour, the commitment, the skill, which churns over all the time in a largely unseen way for the good of the citizens of the country. The existence of the charitable sector is a whole mediating force in our culture that offsets some of the overwhelming materialism and consumerism. I mean, people actually give away their time for nothing. Highly skilled, highly valuable time. And the charitable sector makes that possible. We've got to do whatever we can to keep that choice and that core value in our society protected and alive.
It takes hope in a hopeless world, looking for hope in a hopeless world.
Only recently has Western culture realised the importance of building design in creating a stress-free and even enlightened existence. But it's something the Chinese have incorporated into their daily lives for generations. And now this knowledge is being embraced by many who shape the buildings we live, work and play in. Modern city living. It's hardly surprising people are searching for harmony in their home environment. And this is reflected in the success of books and magazine articles about the ancient Chinese practice of Feng Shui.
I suppose the concept of Feng Shui really is to really living in harmony of nature and with the environment.
Simon Chan is one of a growing number of architects in Australia who know Feng Shui is good for business. Most of his clients are Chinese.
I suppose I do believe in certain aspects of it. It's really just good design. A lot of the Feng Shui aspects are really just good architectural design sense anyway. Even the clients who may not be, strong believers in it, feel that, eventually if they do sell the house, they don't want to limit the market. If they do sell to a Chinese, then they want to make sure that the principles are there.
In Simon Chan's city of birth, Hong Kong, Feng Shui is practiced as a matter of course. To the Chinese, it means health, wealth and prosperity. And entire city buildings and homes are designed to measure. In the popular Western press, Feng Shui is portrayed as a series of do's and don'ts.
It's good Feng Shui actually to bring in a lot of natural light into the house, and it's really the same thing that applies to architectural design anyway. You try and open up the place and bring in a lot of natural light and openness of the space. One of the things that you've got to watch out for is that you don't have a stove directly underneath the bed in the bedroom, and that's really bad Feng Shui because it's got bad energy vibrating up to the top. It is good to locate a house, on the hill, facing water, so in this case, it's a perfect spot.
The placement of windows, doors, and even where you put your bed can affect the harmony of a home.
One of the principles is that the foot of the bed should not be in line with the door, and because it's considered to be bad luck. I suppose that's how they carry you out after you die, I guess.
The origins of Feng Shui date back to the 3rd century. It was first mentioned in a book about burial written by Guo, considered by many the original master of Feng Shui. Though it began with the rituals of the dead, Feng Shui is very much concerned with the energy of the living. The Chinese believe all things have qi, or energy flow. Feng Shui is all about making that qi flow properly in our environment. Literally, Feng means wind and Shui means water. In traditional Chinese thought, the wind carries the qi and the water contains it. So Feng Shui can be defined as the flow and containment of qi, the cosmic force in all of us.
Good Feng Shui is important because it means that you can live in a good environment. It means that you don't actually use energy to keep yourself in a balanced state.
Howard Choy is an architectural consultant who lectures in Feng Shui.
The wind will disperse the qi and the water will contain it.
He teaches his students how to incorporate thousands of years of Chinese knowledge into modern-day design.
There's so many factors affecting the energy flow in your environment. There is no one fixed formula. There's no one total picture that you could actually paint. Every situation is different. And this is where the art of analysis of energy pattern becomes very important in the Feng Shui practitioner.
While Feng Shui is about getting the right energy flow in buildings, its ultimate aim is achieving the right energy flow in ourselves.
if the energy in the environment, the qi in the environment are flowing properly, it will also affect your body energy flow. Because the Chinese said there's an interrelationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm, between the body and the mind, between yourself and the universe.
According to Qi expert Master Sean Chung, true Feng Shui can only come from a thorough knowledge of Qi. It's this interrelationship between a person's individual Qi, or energy, and the Qi in the world around them, which determines good Feng Shui.
因为对于我们人来说，你一旦出生之后的话，周围的环境每时每刻都在影响你的整个一生。所以的话，外在的环境对你的影响是非常重要的。
The study of Qi is called Qigong. Master Chung has been studying it since he was 6 years old and claims he was sent to Australia to spread the word by his Qigong master in China. It involves a combination of meditation practice, breathing techniques and gentle movements. It also allows Master Chung to diagnose a person's ailments. In Qigong terms, a person is ill if their qi is out of balance.
具体来说的话，就是我要把他的病气排走，而且帮助他建立他本身好的元气，再教他一些简单的方法，让他自己在家里练习，加快的这种恢复。
What do you say to people who say it is all superstition?
这个我根本就用不着解释，就不管他信不信的话，地球一样在转动，太阳、月亮一样的身体有如下，不管他相不相信，这个影响都是存在的。风水的话不是很玄的，关键是在你是不是知道。
In the hectic 90s, any philosophy which promises a healthy, stress-free existence will have popular appeal. But how much does the success of Feng Shui rely on the power of suggestion?
There is a power of suggestion in it. There's a psychology part of it. But also there are intrinsic energies that we do not understand. And it's very difficult to analyze and put a hand on it. That it actually happens around us all the time. We're working with something, well, we're working with God, as it were, you know, the force of nature.
It's 8 a.m. in Sydney's western suburbs. The bus is arriving at a new matriculation college, the first of its kind in Australia. The school, Loyola College, is run by Jesuits. For them, it's a new direction. Traditionally, Jesuit education in this country has been associated with prestigious colleges like Sydney's St Ignatius. They are conservative, well off, and the commitment is to academic excellence. Loyola is different. It's located in the heart of severe economic and social problems. Through the school, the Jesuits are taking their values, particularly social justice values, to the wider community. Principal is Father Ross Jones.
We're interested in the formation of a student, which is more than just the intellectual development of the student or training them in skills. The formation of the whole person means you're interested in their mind and their heart as well. I would say the values that we espouse here, as well as the competencies, would be educating young men and women of conscience who, when the chips are down, they're going to be people who will know what is right and what's good and what's true, and that they'll stand up for that.
There are 300 students here from 53 ethnic groups, but there's little violence and virtually no vandalism. It feels quite different here. There's less pushing and shoving. And in the relationships, you can see the values such as honesty, justice and compassion have become more than just ideals. In fact, it's quite an unusual environment.
It's encapsulated in the school motto, which you may have seen, finding God in all things. And that means that values infuse everything that we do in the school, whether it's in the classroom or outside the classroom. And so I put before the students that sure, they can find God in church on a Sunday, but they'll also find God in weekdays at school. And I think it's a spirituality that is so accessible that the staff pick it up and run with it as well, in how they teach and in how they relate to the students outside the class.
I need time.
There are 4 priests and 2 sisters among the staff, but all 27 staff members are committed to the teaching ideals embodied in the school.
Why would you say that they're unhappy about the policy?
Students here have special needs. Many are the first in the family to complete secondary education, and support structures at home can be fragile or non-existent. A number of students are living outside normal family situations. Mark is one of these. At his old school, he was failing. He heard about Loyola and one day just turned up.
I wanted to go to this school because it looked like a better environment for me to work in. And it does make a whole lot of difference because it makes you feel like working in a clean and neat environment.
He just bowled up to the front door of the school and said, "Could I see you?" And he said he wanted to enrol here. I said, "Well, why did you come?" And he said, "I just saw the students going to and from the school, and they looked like they had some sense of belonging or some pride, or I'm not quite sure what the words were that he used." And he said, "It seems to me like it's a good school. I'd like to enrol here."
So this person here starts there.
Mark was doing well at Loyola, but because of family problems, he's been unable to live at home. He couldn't afford his fees, and seeing no solution, he simply stayed away. Ross Jones went out and found him.
At my old school, I was frequently away. I was away for long periods as well. Here, I stayed home for around 2 weeks, and my father Ross came and tried to find me. At my old school, I was away for over a month, and they still didn't try and find me.
So how does it make you feel when a teacher, thinking you might be in trouble, comes actually out of the school to find you?
Makes you feel wanted, and makes you feel, it makes you feel worthwhile. It's like you're someone.
Paul VI once said that young people don't listen to teachers, they listen to witnesses. And if they do listen to a teacher, it's because a teacher is a witness. And therefore, all of us at the school have to live out the values that we profess. The students have to see those values being lived out.
Do you think he practices what he preaches?
Yeah, he does.
And what difference does that make?
Like, you listen to what he says because he's not a hypocrite.
It's not as if these kids don't have all the problems you'd find anywhere else, and some more so. Youth unemployment in the area is around 40%, and there's strong peer pressure not to come to school. Drugs, alcohol and crime are all around, so of course there are problems. But through the school, they're dealing with them in a different way.
But the way they handle it involves you know, in changing. You have to change yourself, not, they can't change you, you have to change yourself.
Feng has been in a number of scrapes, some serious and some involving the police. This year, her problems became the school's when she stole something from a member of staff.
I took it and I opened it and I realised, you know, it could be worth money. And like, I needed money at that time, so I took it.
As you know, we call assemblies to pass on to you a number of important pieces of information.
The next day, Father Ross held a school meeting and emphasised like how maybe only one person took it, but it affects the whole school. And I sat there in assembly, I was crying inside, because he just makes you feel that way.
My first point of departure is that to get the students to reflect upon the experience and let them see the import of what has happened and hopefully stir their consciences a bit to respond to it. And it's a waiting game then, and even if you have fairly strong suspicions about who has done what, it's much better to wait for them to approach you than to go out hunting.
I confess to taking the electronic diary, and he understood why I took it, and because like I had problems and all that, and I don't know, I just felt so free, you know, with my decision that I made. I was really happy with that decision because it made me realise that I had developed my conscience.
I think it's putting the student at the centre, and especially the student that's most in need. They're the ones that are at the heart of the school. Whilst not ignoring the rest, the ones that are in most need are the ones that have a call on what we would call a preferential love for them, a preferential option for those most in need.
He's really smart. He's a very smart man. Yeah.
And that's Compass for this week. Next week, a look at spiritualism. The image of the American televangelist springs to mind when discussing spiritual healing, but probably less known is that spiritualism has a long tradition in Britain, and as we approach the end of this century, it's enjoying a resurgence.
Well, hello everyone. Well, we need to change now, don't we? Because you've all gone a bit quiet, and I need you bright and bubbly, because that's the power that I use for the contact with the world of the spirit. I'd like you, if you will, to speak up a lovely loud yes and a very quiet no. Because it is important that I get both, but I prefer the yeses because it means then that I know that my link with the spirit world is strong and it's thorough.
That's the happy medium next week on Compass. Recent archaeological finds in Sri Lanka have uncovered a rich deposit of bronze Buddhist and Hindu statues. The discovery of the 5th century artefacts has made historians re-evaluate Sri Lanka's role in the development of Buddhism. We'll leave you tonight with a look at these spectacular statues on show at the Art Gallery of New South Wales till the end of October.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
In 1986, I sailed a solo race around the world. I was astounded to discover that pollution was everywhere.
When Ian Kiernan and his friends cleaned up Sydney Harbour, he started a movement that may clean up the world.
Now, these are all your people?
Filming in the Philippines, Germany and Holland, the USA and the Solomon Islands, Kiernan not only uncovers massive problems with urban waste, but identifies those inspired souls who are cleaning up their own country. As the second World Cleanup approaches, meet the Global Heroes, 8:30 Wednesday.
Next week on Your ABC, Sunday, Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City.
Town is full of charming young men. To each other. And there's a lot of that going around. You make it sound like the flu. I think it's terribly depressing. Nonsense. Take it as a challenge. If a woman triumphs in this town, she really triumphs.
Monday, as time goes by.
If an older woman wants a young boyfriend, she can these days.
You call them toy boys, don't you?
Oh, don't look so smug. There's no difference between that and an old man having a young girlfriend.
How come you're an older woman, but I'm an old man?
Wednesday, Ian Kiernan searches for global heroes.
Want to mention that it's come to our attention. There's a lot of junk on the streets.
They're cleaning up the world.
And answer this question is living in the dark.
Thursday, Janus continues.
Mr. Cassidy, are you a heroin dealer trying to convince us you're an addict, when in fact you were happy to make vast amounts of money from selling drugs?
Friday's movie, Harnessing Peacocks.
I sleep with men for money.
Oh.
I have to earn my living. I don't have any professional qualifications. The only things I'm good at are cooking and sex.
Next week on Your ABC.
You hear them every week. And now a special ABC magazine with the best tips and advice from 33 ABC gardening experts right around the country. There's David Young on compost and camellias, organic gardens with Kevin Hines, Elwyn Swain's evergreen tips, Carol Whitelock on gardening and life, Diane Full-Love's gardening gems, and many, many more. Plus fabulous showcase gardens from each state. Get your garden really going with ABC Radio Gardeners. Out now.
He was witty, irreverent, successful.
You're with Gaza till 9 this morning. Competitions from bumhole to dragon.
He gave her everything, except the one thing she needed the most.
Listen to me just once, will you listen?
Don't start that. Hello, Rachel?
I just wanted someone to talk to.
You told her she's crazy, and now she is. Counselling Rachel did not provoke this. Nothing like this ever happened till you got into it.
GP, 8:30 Tuesday.
溥仪被关进苏联战俘营，一晃就是4年多了。1949年10月1日，中华人民共和国成立了。这在日夜担心会引渡回国的战犯们心中，形成了无形的压力。
集合了！啊？什么事？集合了！什么事？